Before we enter any script for this, we first want to go back to our designer. And what I want to do is, because I want there to be some place when the player is done reading this, that there's a button where they can click it and it will close. So what I need to do then is to go over to the left and drag out a button. Okay, I'm going to make it nice and big. I'm going to put it in the center. Sometimes they crop, and I'm just doing this kind of quick and dirty. Now you can make this look different. You can add text here if you want to. You can do all kinds of things. I'm just going to leave it as it is in the default. Very ugly and everything, I know. But so anyway, now the important thing here is what kind of script we're going to attach to it to make it do something. So click on your button and go down in your details. I'm going to give it a name. Instead of button 404, I'm going to call it close. You don't have to, it's just nice to keep track of it. Then I'm going to scroll down. At the bottom of this button, we have an events section, right? So what I want to do is I want to add some script to when that button is clicked. So I'm going to add some there. And so you'll see what it's done is it's taken me automatically into the graph section. It's set up an event on clicked. When I click the close button, it's going to do some stuff. All right. So now here's where I have to tell it what to do. Now, when you click that close button, the first thing I want it to do is to remove the widget from the player viewport. So I'm going to drag off there and I'm going to search for, oh, make sure you're context sensitive. Remove, sorry, I forgot what I was doing. Remove from parent. Okay. That's step one. Okay. Now, what we're going to set up when we call this is, first of all, we're going to take input away from the player, so the only thing they can interact with is the widget. We haven't done that yet, but I need to remove it. I need to reset everything. And we're also going to have manipulated their mouse cursor. So we haven't done that yet because we haven't changed what happens in the level to call this up, but I need to make sure it's reset. Okay, I'm going to search for set input. Okay, so set input, let's see, game only, right? So when I call it, I'm going to set it to UI only. Now I want to reset it so it's in its normal game mode, okay? Now if I compile this, it compiled, but what I need to do is tell it what's the target of it. This one does actually require a target. So if I mouse over the target and I drag out, I'm going to get the player controller. So we're going to set the player controller back to the normal game mode. Okay, so the other thing that I have to do is I have to reset the mouse cursor because we're going to mess with that too. So I'm going to drag out, and here we want to make sure that context sensitive is unchecked. And I think I got to remember what this is called. Show, yeah. So this is a really useful Boolean that's built into Unreal, which is to get and set your show mouse cursor. So I'm going to set this, right? And again, it's going to be from my player controller. And I'm going to leave this unchecked because we're going to change this state when we call this up. Okay, so this is what your widget close button should look like. And if you forget what I have, there's a Word document where I have this all nicely set up so you can look at it and just very quickly from the Word document on my courses.